Lost Knowledge Productions.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Coach D, back at it again, live, one time for your mind. Second episode with Coach D, Fighting is Life. Our segment this time is the ups and downs of leadership and mentorship. So basically being a leader and a mentor, the ups and downs that brings to you. Boy, ain't this a subject, okay? You know, I know being a coach, being a trainer, being a speaker, being a father, being everything, man, it comes with a lot, and a lot of people don't understand that. So, you know, this segment is to encourage people that are leaders and that are mentors, that are coaches, trainers, you know, anything in the leadership role. This segment is to encourage you guys, because I understand where you're coming from, I understand where you've been, I understand where you're going, I understand what you feel, I understand what you think, I understand what goes to your mind, I understand all that stuff. And I believe that, you know, every great leader, every great mentor has taken a lot of insults and flack from the world, the community. Every great leader has done that in the past before, whether they were presidents, you know, pastors, leaders, preachers, dictators, whatever, you know, everybody has taken, because you know why? Everybody has their eyes on people that have that public figure gift, everybody. And there's levels to it, you know, there's definitely levels to it, you know. I can only imagine, you know, being at a certain level, but I do understand it at the level that I am, and how I deal with things and the stuff that I go through and deal with on a daily basis, you know. And I want to talk about this because I want to share that people don't understand what leaders go through. People don't want to understand what mentors go through. They don't understand it. And a lot of times they don't want to understand it. And it's hard to put yourself in these people's shoes when you don't understand. And so that's why I kind of want to talk about that, man, you know. And I really want to encourage my people out there, man, to really be steadfast and stand tall on who you are as a man, as a woman, you know, no matter what the circumstances is. And I want to share this with you guys, that leaders aren't perfect, right? Let me share that again. Leaders aren't perfect. They wasn't born perfect. They're not going to be perfect. Mentors aren't perfect. They're not. That's just the way it goes. So I always say that people that on the outside looking in, that I feel like you should be more understanding and learn more about what these certain individuals that go through. I mean, these people that are out there doing the things that they're doing has been given a gift, and they're using this gift. Doesn't mean because they have this gift, doesn't mean they're not going to fall, doesn't mean they're not going to slip up, doesn't mean they're not going to make mistakes, doesn't mean they're not going to do things wrong, it doesn't mean they're not going to lie sometimes, doesn't mean they're not going to get angry, mad, frustrated, you know. It doesn't mean that. Matter of fact, they're human beings too. But you know, what crazy to me is that people will hold these people to a higher standard than they hold themselves. You cannot hold somebody else to a higher standard than you hold yourself. If you hold somebody to that standard, you got to make sure that you hold yourself to that standard, or make sure you hold yourself to a higher standard than them. You know, it's easy to point the fingers and point the blame and look at people's lives on social media, or whatever they do in their life. It's easy to do that, you know, when you're not in their position, you know. And I'm not gonna take I'm gonna hold the leaders accountable, guys. I'm gonna hold you accountable, including myself, you know, that this position that you have is a very great position. And a lot of times there are leaders that abuse that empowerment. There's a lot of leaders that abuse what they have. And I think everybody's done it. even though they realize, even whether they realize it or not, I believe that everybody's done it. Everybody has, abused that. It happens. It comes with the territory. All you have to do is be steadfast in who you are in your spirit. Recognize when you do wrong. It's like the accountability thing I was talking about. Recognize when you do wrong, fix it, change it, and then try not to repeat, But what I want to say is that, when you are in that position, you have to protect it and you have to take care of it. A lot of us sometimes drop the ball. I know I have. I can speak from personal experience, that I've dropped the ball in certain cases and certain situations, and but it's a lot, because we also have a life to live too, outside of mentoring and leading and coaching and training and being a father and whatever. In some people's cases, being a husband, a spouse, and all that. We get caught up in life too. We have our personal lives too, and we have things that we have to take care of. We have things that we deal with. We have emotions too. We have feelings that sometimes that people don't see when we cry by ourselves, or when we're upset, or we're going through our own spiritual problems, financial problems, and mental problems and stuff like that. People don't see that. And it's sad because, they can tell you, one thing I learned about a person, they can tell you everything wrong about you, but they can hardly tell you everything right about you. You know what I mean? And as long as you're speaking the things that fits them, as long as you're doing the things that fits them, then everybody's on board. But the moment that you do something controversial, the moment you say something controversial, the moment you do anything that doesn't fit the way they think or way they feel, then they turn against you. Now, we're talking about the same people that has issues and problems and bondages and sins and things in their life as well. But what better way to put it off on themselves and then put it on somebody else than just saying, hey, hey, it's easier for me to look at this guy or look at this woman and see their life and point their finger at them versus looking at their own life. And my thing to you leaders, man, is that you don't stop, okay? You don't stop being a leader. You don't stop being a coach, life coach, leader, pastor, whatever it is. Unless you're wrong and you don't want to change and you're doing corrupt things from your heart, then yes, you should not be in a position of leadership. But just because a man is up there and he's flawed and he does things wrong doesn't mean he's corrupt, doesn't mean that he's evil. I do know both sides of that. I do know that there are guys out there that are corrupt, that are evil, and they shouldn't be leaders. But those guys, they don't need to be leaders, and I get that. But to the ones that really try, very hard every day in their life, you guys got to understand that you don't see what goes on in these people's lives, just like people don't see what goes on in your life. But when you're a leader and you're a mentor, you're a trainer, you're a coach, your life is under a telescope, a microscope. People are watching a camera. It's like your life is a 24/7 camera. You say anything wrong, you do anything wrong, and everybody's got something to say. Everybody's going to talk about you. Everybody's going to down you. Everybody's going to turn against you. But, let me tell you this, leaders and mentors, you stay strong. You don't allow anything to stop you from doing what you're supposed to do. Matter of fact, I believe that having these faults, having these issues, and being able to talk about them and being able to let people see these things is what makes you a better leader. To hide everything all the time is not necessarily a good thing. I make sure that for me that my life is out there, man. My life is pretty much out there where everybody can see it. And I don't mind it. I don't mind being exposed. I don't mind being talked about. I don't mind people saying what they have to say about me, because at the end of the day, I know where my source is. You know what I mean? Not my resource. I know where my source is. And in my spiritual belief, my source is God. My source is going to him for correction, going to him to check me for being a faulty leader sometimes, or for doing things wrong, or dropping the ball, or doing things that I shouldn't be doing. But the main thing is that I go to him. I don't sit behind and cry about things or what people do. I make sure that I change myself. You know, I make sure that every day that I wake up, I make sure that I check myself. I make sure that I look at myself and make sure that there's things that if there's things in myself that I need to change, I make sure that I change those things regardless. You know, some people might not even see your change. They might even see your progress. You know what I'm saying? You know why? Because sometimes people are not looking for your progress. They're looking for you to fall. They're looking for you to do wrong. So they can't see your progress. But as long as you see your progress, as long as you feel your progress, as long as you know you're doing it, then eventually they have no other choice but to see it, whether they want to see it or not. But at the end of the day, you got to be steadfast on who you are as a man and as a woman. And if you're a leader and you're a natural moral leader, then that's a gift. That's a discernment. That's something that you got to embrace. You have to embrace it, good or bad. You know, there was times that I didn't understand that if I wanted this position, if I wanted this, but it was what I was born with, is what I was taught, is what I was given. And so since I was given it and it's a gift, then I'm going to embrace it. You always have to embrace it, guys. Okay? And I want to tell y'all, you know, I don't agree with people that are out there trying to manipulate and get over on somebody and use their position of power to do that. I don't agree with that at all. Okay? That's something I don't agree with. And leaders, if you're out there doing these things, you need to stop. You need to stop. If it's something that you don't realize you're doing, reflect on yourself, okay? Reflect on yourself, because you need to stop. Because you know what? Your voice is being heard. My voice is being heard. You know, I understand this one thing. You know, I used to vent and rant, you know, things on social media, being a leader, and not realizing that the stuff that you put out there, you could either embrace somebody's life, or you can take them away from you. I mean, you know, I saw something on Facebook not too long ago. I think a buddy of mine had put it on Facebook, but it said that, are you a part of the solution or are you part of the problem? And I actually thought that was directed towards me. Honestly. And I can tell you that, man, whatever it was, it did help me. It did help me, you know, and seeing these things and understanding these things, you have to always be constantly checking yourself if you're in a position of power. You always got to be constantly checking yourself, because you can use what you have for good, but you can use it for bad. It doesn't mean that in this position that you have, that you're not going to it's not like you're not going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, but you have to correct those mistakes. You have to correct those mistakes, and you have to change, not for them, but for yourself. Because let me share this with you. When you change for yourself, then it also helps other people change. You know, I realized when I was going on social media, and, you know, my dad and my mom and people would tell me, man, you know, you got to be careful some of the stuff you say, some of the stuff, you know, I wasn't trying to hear it, man. I thought it was okay to just vent and just say what I want to say because I was speaking the truth. Well, you know, sometimes it's not the fact that you speak the truth. It's the fact that how you speak the truth and the timing of it, you know. And people take things wrong and think people see things wrong. And so it's not the most popular thing in the world, guys. Let me tell you this. Being a leader, being a coach, being a trainer, or being whatever position of power in you, being a boss, being a CEO, it is not the most popular position. Matter of fact, it's the worst, you know. But if you embrace it in the right way, it can give you great things. It doesn't matter who you are. Every great leader or man of power has been talked about. Everybody. But what is that going to do for you? Is that going to make you stop? Is it going to make you quit? Is it going to make you not continue to do your job? No, because you're going to reach somebody. You're going to reach somebody, and people's watching you, and people see you. You're going to reach them. Just in the meantime, you keep cleaning up yourself. You keep cleaning up your act. You keep doing what you're supposed to do. And God will take care of everything else. These other people that are out there, man, that are judging you and doing all these things, just know one thing. They got to worry about their own life. But you got to focus on you. You got to focus on what you're putting out there, what you're saying, what you're doing, you know. And that's the bottom line, because it is a big responsibility. It's a big responsibility to have that. It's the biggest responsibility a man can have. Is to be a leader. You know, some people will envy you. They will be jealous of you for being that. They will be bitter. I trust me. I know I deal with it. I've dealt with it. But you see me, it doesn't stop me from speaking. It doesn't stop me from changing. You know, people know things about me, good and bad. Heck, people know things about me, good, bad, ugly, whatever the case may be. But I'm not scared to face those things, and neither should you. Face yourself. When you face yourself, you can conquer anything. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you don't, even as a leader, conquer yourself, then how can you really be successful? How can you really truly be a leader? They're going to say things about you. They're going to talk about you. They're going to go against you. They're going to leave you. They're going to put you to the curb. They're going to judge you every moment they can. But when they do that, are you going to rise above it, or are you going to fall? No, you got to stand. You got to stand, because the position that you have is a gift. It's not a curse. It's a gift. Other people can see it, and for the ones that can see it are the ones that you'll change. You're about changing lives, okay? God can use anybody, and if he can use you, you can change lives, okay? And you have to understand that, but it starts with you. It starts with you personally going out your way to make sure that you become the best leader and the best human being you can be. Through all the pain, through all the hurt, through all the tears, through all the frustration, you still have to maintain, and more importantly, you still have to live, because somebody's going to get it. Somebody's life will be changed because of you. Somebody would go on to do great things because of you. Somebody would go on to have a great life because of you. Those are the ones we're trying to reach. Are you going to reach everybody as a leader? No, sir. No, ma'am. You will not reach everybody as a leader. That's the thing. People think because you're a leader that everybody listens. Well, everybody listens, but everybody ain't listening for the right way. Everybody ain't listening for the right reasons. They're listening to see where they can find where your fault at. They're listening where they can see where they think you're going to fall at. Let me share this with you too. Being a leader, do you know that people wake up every morning to look on YouTube, to look on social media, to look on anything, IG, to see what you're saying, to watch what you're saying, only to see that one day that they can watch and see that when they open up their social media, that they can see that you failed, that they can see that, oh, he didn't do nothing, so they can go home or go and say something about you and go talk about you. But the more you keep winning, the more you keep living, the more you keep standing tall and standing strong on who you are, the more they got to see you. The more it's going to aggravate them. The more they're going to have to ask themselves, man, how is he still here? How is he still doing it? How is he still making it? How is he still above water? How? And don't think they're not asking themselves some questions. Believe it or not, there are people in this world that really, truly don't want to see you make it. Those are the things that come with being a leader. But it doesn't mean that you have to stop. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't stop, and you can't stop, and you won't stop. You have to keep fighting, because it's your life, it's your spirit, it's your soul, it's your salvation. You have to live with that. Nobody else. When you wake up in the mirror in the morning, your job is to ask for direction. Your job is to understand that who you are and believe in who you are and keep doing it. It's not up to nobody else. It's up to yourself. They're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. They're gonna say what they're gonna say anyway. Bottom line, whether you do good or bad, they're still gonna have something to say. You could be doing everything right, and they're gonna still find something. Oh, he ain't really doing all that anyway. Or she ain't really doing all that. They're gonna do that. They'll sit behind closed doors. They'll talk about you. They'll click up. They'll talk about you. They'll be against you. Those are things you can't change. But real leaders and true leaders always rise to the top. See me? I'm not worried. Do I recognize what's going on around me? Sure I do. Do I recognize the bitter, the hate, the envy, the jealousy? For sure I do. Does it stop me from doing what I need to do? Sure it don't. And that's what I want to encourage you today. We need more leaders in this world. We need more people who want to do right. We need people, more importantly, we need people in this world that want to help others. We need people in this world that want to see others succeed. We need other people in this world that can speak a word to help another soul, a lost soul. Okay? That's what we need. Sometimes being a leader too, you'll find that people that wasn't fans of yours become fans of yours. People that heard things about you that didn't know about you and was thinking negative about you will start thinking positive about you. Okay? Always look at your perspective. Always look at people's perspective about you as well, though. Always do that. You know what I'm saying? You can learn from everything. You can learn from the good. You can learn from the bad. You can learn, you know, I recently had to come to conclusion of that recently in myself in a lot of situations. And sometimes it takes certain things in your life to happen to you for you to wake up and see truly the kind of man that you are, or kind of man that you are, that you're going to be and supposed to be. Never give up. You can't please everybody. Please yourself. And keep winning and keep working. But if you have the role of a leader and you have the role of a mentor or a coach or a trainer, embrace it. Love it, embrace it, and embrace it strong. And don't let go of it. No matter how hard it get, no matter how hurtful it get, no matter how severe the pain may feel, if you keep pushing and you keep standing, you are the winner and you will be successful. To everybody that's judging leaders, look at yourself. It's not an easy task. It's not. To my leaders, I have to hold you accountable as I want you to hold me accountable. Keep fighting no matter what. Coach D Powerhouse, Episode 2, Leadership and Mentorship. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And we out.